Welcome to Staples.
Hi, Staples guy. I need to get my kids ready for back to school.
Well, Staples has everything they need at low prices, like comp books for just 50 cents, so they'll be 110% ready.
Wait, that's 10% more ready than totally ready.
Yep.
That extra 10% evens it all out.
Sorry?
Well, I'm usually 10 minutes late getting them to school, so.
That doesn't even it out.
Yeah, sure it does.
Make low prices happen. Make 110% ready happen. Staples. Make more happen. Right now, Lexar S50 16GB flash drives are just $6.99.
Offer valid while supplies last. Limit 5 per customer. Ends 8/8/15.
Blog Talk Radio.
First World Order Radio. Finally, we are on the air. No doubt. All right.
There's always going to be somebody in the building on First World Order Radio.
We get on into some of that order consciousness tonight.
First World Order Radio every Wednesday, 8 p.m.
We got to talk about what is taking place on the planet.
There's always going to be somebody in the building on First World Order Radio. First, we need to let you know we're going to be doing more shows, giving out more information on Wednesdays. Wednesday at 8 o'clock, we are now going to make this the hottest day of the week.
Preceding others in time, order, importance. The most prominent parts, voices, or instruments. Earthly state of human concerns and existence. An indefinite multitude, quantity, or distance. System regulates to bring about specifics in the root based on value and natural characteristics. Current radiates electromagnetistics of sound through the air, same as your thoughts transmits it. Preceding others in time, order, importance. The most prominent parts, voices, or instruments. Earthly state of human concerns and existence. An indefinite multitude, quantity, or distance. System regulates to bring about specifics in the root based on value and natural characteristics. Current radiates electromagnetistics of sound through the air, same as your thoughts transmits it.
You need to understand how magical this something like this every Wednesday can become. So you need to start getting your calendar right, get your schedule right. You need to know our intention straight out.
All right, so these clues are given throughout the various languages was to piece the puzzle of this ancient mystery school back together again.
And what we plan on doing, both of us, is bringing y'all some surefire dynamite. We're going to take this level up a notch. We're going to have stuff to do here. This is not just going to be about philosophies and theories, shit that works.
You have an activated pineal gland in which that produced this black chemical called melanin.
What we did was gave a hard line in the sand between the different definitions of esoteric study and exoteric study. Playtime is over.
You didn't want to sit down on a radio station one time.
All around the production.
Really say this a gift delivering the message. My music is a weapon when I use it on the reckless. Spaceship hovering throughout the whole region. Open up the sky and take the shortcut to Venus. Getting on my level, it's a hard pill to swallow, like comparing your religion to it if the earth is hollow. No need to cry there and let it soak in your tomorrows. Let my music soak up all your bittersweet and sorrows. See the sun shining, I lay back and kick it. Staying sucker free is my new way of living. One day we get together, then we all start billing. But the ball that I dribble got me posting like Pippin. Champagne glasses around my organite pyramid. Glazing at the stars, show the kids where we really live. These solar flares got my DNA 12 stranded. Collect the kill trends and feed it to the man spring. The Washington Moors, some of us we been here to reunite the others and cool the world with wind chills. I put rap to the back for a good reason. 2012-21 was a good season. Fake people get exposed just for who they are. Keep playing traffic in the highway with moving cars. My flow bring the fear of God to these modern rappers. They crawling backwards, kicking men in chest and hard attack them. Ever since the kid went galactic, my center bracket reached the top and interacted with my solar status. The microphone I grab it, I guess it's just a habit. A living legend in your presence, sorta like the Mavericks. It ain't about me, nah, but it's about the future. I go to races on and dealing with the cockadoodles. I sock it to you like a grandma and your mama used to. The final stage I ride away just like it's Honolulu. I prove my old school, but since I stayed there, galactic conscious awareness, I got my grades there. See with the eye of Heru, no longer bending knees. My inner chiefs are in me when it's time to leave. This modern day crap, I don't even follow it. I'd rather symbolize my name up in the hieroglyphs. Declare peace without Battlestar Galactica. Footstepping backwards on my way back to Africa. The Washington Moors, some of us we been here to reunite the others to cool the world with wind chills. I put rap to the back for a good reason. 2012-21 was a good season. Fake people get exposed just for who they are. Keep playing traffic in the highway with moving cars. My flow bring the fear of God to these modern rappers. They crawling backwards, kicking men in chest and heart attack and Washington Moors. Some of us we been here to reunite the others to cool the world with wind chills. I put rap to the back for a good reason. 2012-21 was a good season. Fake people get exposed just for who they are. Keep playing traffic in the highway with moving cars. My flow bring the fear of God to these modern rappers. They crawling backwards, kicking men in chest and heart attack them. I don't need to be a dope boy, my poetry is dope enough. Trapping interstellar while my third eye open up. See through all the lies that y'all telling with a straight face. Return of the luminous ones. Y'all better make way to find a chapter. Find a collapse on all you politicians. They politicking how to lead a world no pot to piss in. The way I think is more deep and in the Grand Canyon. I guarantee this black man would be the man standing. My premonition matched the OMAC calendar. It's always accurate like a lightweight challenger. For all you wicked witches and the Wizard of Oz, you and that man behind the curtain, yeah, y'all fixing to fall. Only a matter of time before shit hit the fan. Here's an idiot's guide for you on how to get a man. I don't need a bunch of homies to ride or die with me. I can call on Heru to fly the skies with me. We going through the transition and that's all she wrote. Put on my uncle, gave my Jesus peace back to the folk. Came back for ancient times to bring heaven on earth. I was the last golden child that returned to the birth. We going through the transition and that's all she wrote. Put on my uncle, gave my Jesus peace back to the folk. gon' return unless I turn another cheek. Catch me on my ditty box, smooth as I wanna be. Just being me, never chillin' with the wannabes. God in the flesh, dated bad sister Atlantis. Because my history is more than they can understand it. My melanated skin, star brush from the astro. I'm made of dark energy created from black holes. No thyself, the only one you can lean on. I got some scoop bush that y'all can break y'all weed on. Our hair is Martin Luther King and slave ships. But what about the underwater cities and spaceships? My mystical mind, we had the government covering. But if the OMAD will fly away like a mothership, we're African people, we're the real Anunnaki, wearing feathers on their heads, just a few feet taller than me. Through the transition, and that's all she wrote. Put on my uncle, gave my Jesus peace back to the Pope. Came back my ancient times to bring heaven on earth. I was the last golden child that returned since birth. We going through the transition, and that's all she wrote. Put on my uncle, gave my Jesus peace back to the Pope. Came back my ancient times to bring heaven on earth. I was the last golden child that returned since birth. Yo, don't look at me the same, I ain't nothing like I used to be. Upgraded daily through the lies and all the foolery. My dream became lucid, I travel back in time, collecting life data from my subconscious mind. That father let me know that anything is possible by pulling down the universe through my crown chakra. Manipulate the energy is all an illusion. Knowing who you are kills all the confusion. Why 85% judge off my appearance? I use alchemy to create the world potential. My lyrics turn divas right back into queens. Why dope boys that think twice appearing back on the scene? Everybody gone mad, bladed media outlet. The new black Hollywood chosen straight out the project. Bobo agenda war sucking up to the master, while the whole community going up in disaster. We going through the transition, and that's all she wrote. Put on my uncle, gave my Jesus peace back to the Pope. Came back my ancient times to bring heaven on earth. I was the last golden child that returned since birth. We going through the transition, and that's all she wrote. Put on my uncle, gave my Jesus peace back to the Pope. Came back my ancient times to bring heaven on earth. I was the last golden child that returned since birth.
He's back once again with Dr. El-Bey on the First Water Radio. All right. I'm waiting for Brother Amun, Yashua to show up here. Trying to get him on. Hopefully he'll come on in a few minutes here. Other than that, hopefully y'all got a chance to check out last night's show. I wish that we went in on the reptilians and who they are, who they controlled by, all the good stuff in which that you normally don't get when you listen to shows dealing with extraterrestrials in that regard. We give a great shout out to our master teacher, Dr. Malachi New York, as well as also another master teacher, Dr. Deborah Bled, for putting that work in. All right. So as we was going over, we're just going to summarize some of this information that we went over last night. We was talking about the reptilians and how the shadow beings are the ones on which that actually control the reptilians, as well as also the grays. They work on their behalf. Now, who are the shadow beings? The shadow beings are entities or ghosts in which that once resided here on planet Earth, but is fourth-dimensional astral beings, but they're above the first and second overtone level. The reptilians and grays and other interdimensional beings come to Earth by way of utilizing the human form of entities, in particular entities who lack melanin, which is sufficient, I should say a sufficient amount of melanin in which that would give them the ability in order to decide and strive towards their own path as compared to just being a lapdog or a puppet for these particular entities. They'll tell you that most people are third-dimensional, and we're talking about third dimension, we're talking about length, width, and height. But when you get into the fourth dimension, you're talking about depth, which is dealing with time and space. Well, Nubians or so-called black people, Moors, are fourth-dimensional beings naturally. But if you notice, there's more and more so-called black people getting possessed by these particular entities on a daily basis. I gave a rendition about my personal eyewitness account of these reptilian hybrids. There was a lady standing right in front of me, less than a foot and a half away from me, and her sister upset her, and I guess because my auric field must have disrupted her emotional body in some shape, form, or fashion, and she decloaked, and her eyes changed from brown to icy blue with a slit running down the center. And I didn't even freak out. I just simply went and told my wife what happened and what I saw. You know what I'm saying? And the reason why I didn't flip is because I already knew, in a sense, that this existed. Because we have reports, like I'm talking about last night, there was a magazine called UFO Times, in which that speaks about this magazine article I read a long time ago. This had to be back when I was in college, as a matter of fact. I think it was like an 88 issue. I might still get that issue, as a matter of fact, in my library at my house. But in the article, it spoke about a reptilian type of race called the dinosaurs or the saurus, in which that actually evoluted into a humanoid form. All right? So there were dinosaurs in which that existed from after the 65 million years ago. All right? And also there's another book, Forbidden Knowledge, in which that we talked about. I think it was written by Michael Creemore, in which that he spoke about the fact of evidence that there's dinosaurs and men that existed at the same time on the planet. There's footprints in which that they're found, in which that verifies footprints from, specifically footprints from the dinosaurs, as well as also men cohabitate. You know what I'm saying? So that's something else in which that, in which that we definitely have to answer for, and most so-called scholars, writers, etc., scientists, anthropologists, archaeologists don't want to even speak about that, in that regard. That's something in which that is so beyond their understanding, because they want to relegate man down to just biblically 6,000 years, scientifically 2.8 to 3.2 million years based on the Lucio Deganesh, fossil that they're found in East Africa from out of Kenya area. So, this is what they want to relegate us down to just that specific time. But there's evidence, like I said, you get the book Forbidden Archaeology of humanoid people being on this planet dating back to almost 3 billion years. 3 billion years. All right, so we're going to bring on Brother Amun Tehuti-shil Yashua. And he's going to speak on is the planet Earth ruled by reptilians. Brother Amun, are you here?
Yes, sir. You hear me
all right.
fine?
Yeah, we got you loud and clear.
All right. How you been, Brother Alim?
Doing good.
Okay. All right. So let me go ahead and tell the audience a little bit about why all of a sudden I just started coming out with these series in regards to extraterrestrials. Now, the reason, this is something that I've been wanting to do for quite some time, you know what I mean? But, I just never felt comfortable talking about, these type of events, because I know that it's over a lot of people's head. And one thing that the elite is very good at is making fiction appear nonfiction and nonfiction appear fiction. A lot of the stuff that we see, like, alien predators, you know what I mean, and the supernatural powers that we see in the cartoons such as Dragon Ball Z and, X-Men and all this other stuff, it made to seem as being fiction, but in actuality, there is beings here on this earth that possess some type of powers. The reason you probably don't see it because, people who've been possessing these type of powers been threat to the government, and, they had, been under attack, incarcerated, murdered, stuff in that nature. So, basically, I personally, had paranormal experience, since I was very, very young. I started off seeing ghosts, since I was a child, and then, seeing my first extraterrestrial being, and I was about my teenage age, and then, my younger adult ages, I actually seen the UFO craft. And I talked about these, in my article that is available under membership at KingGinc.com. Okay, so I always, as I mentioned last time when I was on Dr. Alim's show, with the show entitled "Were the Greek Mathematicians and Scientists Nubians?" I mentioned that ever since the age of 14, I've just been diligently trying to figure out, the higher force, who we call God, you know what I mean, the Most High. There are many names, terminology to describe it. And, it led me into a great depth of studying mathematics because I know in order for us to really understand, the universe, we have to know mathematics. Dr. York even mentioned it too. He said that a lot of these things in the mathematics, but people don't like math. So they don't want to deal with it. And he even said himself that if you study mathematics and science, you'll be able to understand what I'm saying in more depth. So after hearing that, made me study the work more diligently, and I always try to trace the original forms of the scriptures. Where did this stuff begun? We was taught that it all started from the Hebrew Bible, which actually not true, because the oldest forms of scriptures, go back to the land of Sumer, modern day Iraq, also known as ancient Babylon, in the clay tablets written in the cuneiform language. And when you study them tablets, it clearly talks about extraterrestrials. That's why it's been suppressed for so long. It just recently been discovered. Not even 300 years ago. These artifacts and this civilization, been revealed to the public. I'm pretty sure it was discovered before then. Saying as well. So, just based off me trying to understand, the highest force, the Most High, it led me on to studying this type of information. And just as Dr. El-Bey mentioned earlier about forbidden archaeologists, yes, it's real because you got archaeologists right now who finding out that men have been here a lot longer, that dinosaurs, was living during the same time as man. And they also mentioned the forbidden archaeologists that dinosaurs still exist today. That, there's accounts of, I think, Tehuti-shil dinosaurs. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right, but in Namibia, Africa, they found a breed of them there, and that's also suppressed. I'm pretty sure if you was to really travel around the world and talk to people, people would tell you, like, yeah, we've seen dinosaurs, or we've seen extraterrestrials, we've seen UFOs, but here in America, who control your media. The Jewish people control your media, and they're not going to tell you this. So, if you're relying for them to give you the information, you're going to be far behind. You know what I mean? So what I'm going to do is share some excerpts and then emphasize off of them a little bit. All right? So, from the book entitled Are There Black Devils by the Grand Master Teacher, Dr. Malachi Z. York, page 17 through 18, states as I quote, it says, when the 200 fallen Elohim fell from grace with Iblis, they settled in the land that was called Nod, pronounced Nud, which means wanderer. It is also spelled Nud after the Anunnaki Nudimud, or Israel Inki, because he was the ruler of the land. To nod is a condition of sleep. Thus, nod suggests the unguided activities of man's subconscious phrase of mind during periods of sleep or relaxation or apparently negative reaction. The fundamental idea of nod is that of uncertainty of mind and bewilderment. The English word nod comes right out of the original description of the land nod. When the Elohims came down to earth, the word used for their descension is habata, meaning to descend, go down, come down, fall, drop. Find that in the Quran, chapter 7, verse 24. Yet, when a scripture is sent down, we find that the word nazala means to descend from heaven, to dismount, to send down, in revelation to a prophet, revealed. We find that in Quran chapter 3, verse 93, chapter 4, verse 136, and chapter 76, verse 23, continuation. Once the disagreeable Elohim descended to earth, they roamed the earth and took the agreeable female from Ginwa, the outer garden, to kidnap, dragged them across the Arabian Sea to settle in a land called Nod, an abominable Nevis camp in the Tigris-Euphrates River called today the Persian Gulf. There, the females of the Pygmy tribes mixed in with these disagreeable giants called the Anakites or Nephilim to breed a superior yet disagreeable race of 8-ether, wavy, dark-skinned, and tall people called the Watusi. All right. Now, it talks about these beings that came from the sky, you know, and they came and they mixed with, you know, the Pygmy woman. And then, after that, came the Watusis. Now, if you were to study, you know, the history, you know what I'm saying, of ancient Africa and ancient Africans, you'll come into these two terms very often, Pygmies and Watusi. The Pygmies is a lot shorter, you know, they got very broad features, you know, very kinky hair. And the Watusis, they're a lot taller, and, you know, their hair isn't so thick. So when you go to parts of Ethiopia and you go to Somalia, you know, you will see African brothers who don't have 9-ether hair. 9-ether hair is very, very thick hair, what they call nappy hair. In actuality, they are antennas, you know what I'm saying, and that's a sign of life because the number 9 signifies life. You know, kinky hair grows up. Every other hair, you know what I'm saying, grows down, which means that, you know what I'm saying, it symbolizes life. Because when you look at life, when a plant grows up, you know, that means that it's alive, it's growing, it's full of life. But then when that plant starts to grow down, you know that it's dying. When you see a flower leaning, you know what I'm saying, you know that your flower is dying. When you see a plant leaning, it means that your plant is dying. And that's why the people who are opposite of the 9th ether people, which is Nubian people, Pygmies, they 6th ether people, their hair flat, they signify death. That's all they bring. That's all they project. It's death. You know what I mean? You literally dominated by it. You dominated by it by now, right? And we're gonna get into why that's the reason. So these beings that the Nephilim was the 200 fallen angels, I believe. Now, you know what I'm saying? That was cast out of the heavens, you know, and they came down here, you know, and they mixed it with the Pygmy woman, you know, producing, you know, what is called Watusi. They also recognized as East Indian people, you know what I'm saying, as well. But one thing you got to know, when you read 126 of the Holy Bible, it said, God said, let us make men in our image and our likeness. And when you go back into the scriptures, the replacement word for God, if you want to translate it from the Hebrew language, is Elohim, okay? And then the Yim the yim of the word Elohim is E-M-M, and E-M-M, the yim, that's what it's called, is plural. You know, so that means talking about two or more type of beings. Now, a singular word for the word Elohim would be Elo, E-L-O-H, which means that's one being. That, you know what I'm saying that that's one being, in other words. You know what I mean? So when we say Elohim, we are talking about God. We are talking about God. So your religion has already dumbed you down and deceived you by making you think that at that event, when they say let God make men out of our image and out of our likeness, you know what I'm saying, it was just talking about one God. And then they'll have the audacity to say, no, we're not talking about one God. We are talking about the Great Trinity. When the damn Great Trinity ain't even mentioned until the next book of the Bible called the New Testament. And we going into Genesis, we still in the Old Testament all the way till we get to, I believe, Michael or Mikael. Before we start getting into the New Testament, which begins at Matthew and ends at Revelation. All right? So that's what we got to keep in mind, because the problem is, you know, people is not breaking down etymology. They're accepting things and they're casting things aside without, you know what I'm saying, digging into etymology, you know what I'm saying, without digging into the mathematics, you know what I'm saying, and stuff, without, you know what I'm saying, studying the science their own, you know, because just as the brother mentioned, archaeologists are not saying a lot of things. The reason they're not saying a lot of things because they cannot have a prosperous career if they start telling the truth. You know what I mean? So check this out. When we go to the book of Genesis, chapter 3, verse 4 through, basically verse 4 talks about the serpent. And I'm going to go ahead and quote verse 4 to 6 of chapter 3, which states, "And the serpent said unto the woman, Ye shall not die, for God don't know that in the day ye eat thereof, then your eyes shall be open, and ye shall be as gods, knowing good and evil. And when the woman saw that the tree was good for food, and that it was pleasant to the eyes, and a tree to be desired to make one wise, she took the fruit thereof and did eat, and gave also to her husband with her, and he did eat." Okay? Now, 4, it talks about serpents. You know, you was made to believe, you know, in photos, or, you know, according to, you know, saying drawings and pictures and all that other stuff, which, you know, saying, which goes into the subconscious mind and, you know, make it appear as being a reality. According to the photos, you literally seen a picture of a snake talking. But what it's talking about here, it is talking about the serpent people, the snake-type people. Because when you go into the holy tablets, all the way starting from Anu, Enki, and Enlil, Anu being the Most High, his son being Enki, ruler of the earth, and his other son, Enlil, ruler of the heaven, you will know that in order for Anu to leave his planet Risk to come into this planet in peace, he had to breed with one of their women, and these beings were snake people. These beings were reptilians. You know what I mean? Because what is a snake? I'm pretty sure it's a reptile, if I'm not mistaken. You know, what are reptiles? Okay, I could go into the definition, but, you know, we don't have to do all that because it's quite clear. I'm pretty sure everybody here knows a reptile is a lizard, you know what I'm saying, turtle, snake, stuff in that type of nature. You know what I mean? So when we talk about reptilians, you know, one of the words associated with that word is reptile. So reptilians, you know what I'm saying, are reptile-type creatures, you know, and that emerge from out of the water, okay? Because this is originally an amphibian planet, meaning that this is a planet, you know what I'm saying, for beings that live underwater, fish, tadpoles, you know, stuff in that nature. Because this planet is 70% water. So if this planet is 70% water, what would make you think that this is a humanoid planet? What would make you think that? If it's only 30% land on this planet, you know what I'm saying, approximately, probably less than that now, maybe more, because we're going through a lot of damn changes, you know. What would make you think that this is a humanoid planet? Okay, when we go into the holy tablets, you know, the beings, you know, that are in this planet today came from another planet. Anu, Inky, and the Lil came from another planet. You know what I mean? And they are night etheric beings. Okay? So, which means that, you know what I'm saying, your origins don't even start here. Your origins start from another place. You understand? And reptilians, if I'm correct, have been here before as humanoids. And I guess they feel some kind of way about us being here, as if we're trying to infiltrate or trying to take over this planet, you know what I'm saying, that they, you know what I'm saying, have been in for quite some time. And if you want to go all the way to religion or way of life, whatever you want to call it, before, you know what I'm saying, the monotheistic religions such as Christianity, Islam, Judaism, you know, etc., Buddhism, Hinduism, you will hear many accounts of serpents. Serpent-type beings, you will even see pictures of these type of beings. You know what I mean? And we're going to go ahead and brush up on that a little bit too later on. But I'm going to go ahead and read an excerpt from an article entitled, "Are You Sleeping with Lucifer?" page 8, with states, and I quote, "Lucifer is an evil reptilian known as Samael or Halal. He was chosen by Murdoch out of 100 of the most brilliant personalities. After being selected, Halal, quote-unquote Lucifer, started to rebel and promote evil acts. He even doubted his universal father. Halal started to protest against Murdoch. He acknowledged Murdoch in his creator father, but not his rightful ruler. However, Lucifer, Halal, started to rebel against Anu, the Most High, and started to cause mischief and war in the heavens." All right? So, this guy known as Lucifer, Samael, Halal, was one of the most brilliant, you know, people, you know, in the heavens. You know what I mean? When we say heavens, you know, so we're talking about, you know, planets outside of Earth. You know, it even speaks about that in your very Bible, because when they say the word for heaven in Greek is Oranos. You know, and Oranos, you know, when you break that down, it's really translated as Orion. So a lot of times when they're talking about heaven in the Bible, you know, then they're talking about different constellations, different planets, you know, stuff in that nature. You know, so this is the thing. Everybody looking out for who is Satan. Who is this devil? You know what I mean? A lot of us say it's the pale man, okay? But what we got to understand is that the pale man is dictated, you know what I'm saying, by the reptilians. I know that may sound crazy, okay? The Luciferian order has started infiltrating America around the 1800s. And not too many people speak on the Luciferian order. Not too many people know about the Luciferian order. Okay? The Luciferian order was in actuality, you know what I'm saying, reptilian. Yes, it is a council of reptilians. And they hid themselves under the banner of the Illuminati. So they are selected members of the Illuminati. One of them being Albert Pike, to infiltrate and corrupt the religious aspect and to infiltrate and corrupt Masonry. And then they also sent a dude named, I think his last name is Mazan, okay, to infiltrate the political aspect. You know what I mean? So these reptilians, you know what I'm saying, use the Illuminati as their puppet, and everybody talking and everybody giving the Illuminati the credit for everything that's happening. Everybody thinks the Illuminati, you know what I'm saying, is the big head honcho behind all the politics and religion that's being corrupted, but they are a puppet for the Luciferian order, which are reptilians. Okay? Just like everybody, you know what I'm saying, thinking the Albion or the Pale Man is the head honcho behind everything that's going down, you know what I mean? But he's just a pawn. You feel me? For, you know what I'm saying, for the reptilians as well. And not just the Pale Man, but anybody, you know what I'm saying, who wants to perpetuate and participate, you know what I'm saying, in, you know, deception, dumbing down people, destroying people, exploitation, whatever it is. You know what I'm saying? They all, you know what I'm saying, is puppets, you know what I mean, for the reptilians. As you can see, a Nubian brother is the president. So, you know what I'm saying, we also partake in that too. And what you got to understand is that a lot of these beings that come from different planets don't have no emotions. And plenty of us make the mistake that every pale person that we see around here with blue eyes and blonde hair are actually European people, but they're not. You got extraterrestrials, you know what I'm saying, from different planets that look just like pale people. From Pele, you got the Altarians, you know, they look just like pale people. You would think that there's a white person. Until, you know what I'm saying, you were to actually give them an x-ray and we see that their heart is located near the liver areas, and, you know, you start looking in the inner mechanism and organs of their body, you'd be like, damn, what the fuck? This motherfucker's not no human. You know what I'm saying? So, know that you know, some of y'all people probably suck some of them. You know what I mean? And, you know, we come from the planet Rift, which, you know, come from agreeable beings. But, you know, an agreeable being, I knew, you know what I'm saying, had to intermix with a disagreeable being, which is the reptilian. And that's why we have, you know what I'm saying, a Yah in the way. The Yah being the agreeable side, the way being the disagreeable side, which means that we have a good and an evil nature within us. Because there's two different, you know what I'm saying, completely different DNA within us humanoids. You know what I'm saying? Two completely different DNAs, and they always warn against each other. One is good, one is evil. And that's why we always warn against ourselves about which way we're going to go. If we're going to go the right way, or we're going to go in the left way. Okay? Now, I'll share another excerpt. I believe it's from my article as well. This article is entitled on Extraterrestrial Government, going to be from page 10 to 18. You can find this article at King G Inc. That's KINGGEEINC.com. Subscribe under membership. Okay, it states as I quote. Okay. Here we go. The parent race of reptilians is said to be the Carbians. Draconians are the royal lineage of the reptilians. There are two major sub-races of reptilians, the lizard and the winged serpent, who are also known as snakes, or the snake people, Draconians. Objective is to conquer and destroy all the stars, systems, and planets. Right, I'm going to continue this excerpt, and let me just go ahead and do some more emphasize about that a little bit. Now, there are plenty of different breeds of reptilians. Or should I say this, to make this more understandable for people, that there's many different types of races of reptilians, you know, okay? Now, we got African people, Asian people, you know, European people, etc. Okay, the most dominant race of all these reptilians is the Draconians. And the Draconians is not only interested in dominating this planet called Earth, but before they even had arrived here, they've been trying to conquer other planets. We is dealing with a being who's trying to conquer the whole damn universe. They got stations, you know what I'm saying, in different constellations. They got stations, you know what I'm saying, in different planets. You know, their stations, they got about 3 stations here. One of them is in the Bermuda Triangle. Another one's in New Zealand. All right? They got stations here as well. That's why if you do your research and your study on the Bermuda Triangle, you'll know that a lot of unusual activities goes on. So let me continue. There is a race of extraterrestrials that derive from draconians. They are called the Butians. These serpent-like beings are malevolent just like the draconians. Their place of origin is the Buti constellation, which is between 30 to 40 light years from planet Earth. These beings are intelligent with large reptilian eyes and small snouts. Butians are a big threat to human beings because they view humans as food and they eat human flesh. Okay? They are responsible for implantation, intruding other societies and galactic civilization. These extraterrestrials are interested in dominating planet Earth, and they have undergone bases throughout the Earth. Draconians are great extraterrestrials, are co-partners of the Butians for the purpose of universal domination. The government received advanced technology from these extraterrestrials. Advanced technology. Okay, I'm going to have to emphasize off of this. A lot of things come to my mind when I just hit that. One thing slipped my mind, but I'm going to go get into what surfaces on my mind. All right. Now, they say advanced technology. A lot of, people mention weakened, technology from the extraterrestrials. But what type of technology? I don't think they're talking about cell phones and computers and tablets. No. We're talking about technology such as the HAARP, HAARP machine. We're talking about technologies, that made boats disappear from this earth, from this day and time, and appear into another day and time. And was able to actually manipulate time, and that was called the Philadelphia experiment. Or the Montauk Project. Was for mass mind control, using electromagnetic fields, to alter the mind, to alter the consciousness, send subliminal messages to the consciousness of the people. These are the type of technology that we're talking about. We're talking about the darkest technology. But these motherfuckers is building robotic, These motherfuckers building robotic tigers and all type of stuff, man. Just look it up yourself, man. The Joppa program is crazy. These motherfuckers got a whole damn arsenal of goddamn weaponry. Man, that would just blow your damn mind. Oh my gosh. Most people don't even know what these fools doing in the closet. Okay, now I'm going to continue. Alpha Draconis is the home of some of the most Draconians. Draco is the home of the Draconian Empire. Humans are considered inferior in the eyes of Draconians, and they see planet Earth as their ancient outpost. Draconians are one of the most technologically advanced species. They are white, brownish, red, and gray colored Draconians. In addition, Draconians can travel interdimensionally and have the potential to become invisible. Draconians are active in thousands of other planets besides Earth, with about 500 colonies at the least. Furthermore, they have 3 primary bases on Earth. One of them is near the Bermuda Triangle, another is off the coast of Denmark, and the final base is off the coast of New Zealand. Titan is the base for a group of evil extraterrestrials. It was divided into 12 continents. According to the Greek language, these continents are named Oceanus, Theos, Coos, Ipeptus, Conus, Hyperon, Rhea, Minosine, Thea, Themis, Thetit, and Phobe. The 12th continent of planet Titan is called Phoebe. However, this refers to the 12 tribes of Israel, 12 tribes of Ishmael, 12 signs of the zodiac, 12 months of Zeus' birthday, the 12th month of Zeus' birthday, and the 12 disciples of Yashua, quote unquote Jesus. Evil being started to take residence at Zarantu. Okay? The evil beings started to take residence at Zarantu, which is a continent or the planet of risk. Tarnus was the commander of the continent Zarantu, but he wasn't satisfied with just being commander of a single continent, and he wanted to take over the whole planet risk. However, Anu chosen Murdoch to lead the fleet. Consequently, a war began. Murdoch and Tarnish had begun. Tarnish decided to hit planet risk with an arsenal, or with an aerosol, which may be the reason why planet risk started to have problems with the atmosphere. As a result, the Reptilians had to visit planet Earth to transport gold back to planet risk so they can protect their atmosphere. But some of the benevolent extraterrestrials, which means the good ones, which a lot of us refer to as the gods or the righteous, decided to make Pleiades and Arcturus their home. The benevolent reptilians or extraterrestrials wanted to enslave and conquer them so they can perform biological experiments for producing hybrids. And these people got a whole damn arsenal, you know what I'm saying, filled with fucking crazy ass animals. Like they got a thing called a horse. It look like a damn shark and a horse at the same time. Like these people is cloning all type of damn hybrids. You know what I'm saying? In the closet. They're doing all this shit in the closet. They producing, you know, hybrid humanoids. I mean, we as a product, we are hybrids. You know what I mean? So, according to the Holy Tablets, you know, this whole process of experimentation has been going on for a very long time. You know what I mean? And you know, it's just wild out here, man. It's just wild out here. For real. I'm gonna continue. The Reptilians were getting ambushed by reptilians until Murdoch was given a red beam-like artillery weapon for protection. Finally, the gold was transported outside the planet Earth. On the other hand, Tarnish, also known as Humbaba, decided to live on planet Titan. Humbaba and his followers for millions, after a genetic mission took place, the snake people known as the Reptilians came into the picture. Murdoch and other Anunnakis made trips in the Bureau in planet Earth. Murdoch and other Anunnaki made trips in the Bureau to planet Earth for more gold, so they can protect the planet from the three suns, Apsu, Utu, and Shamit. The Rubu ended up crashing into planet Earth. This accident may have been the result of Pluto being a part of our solar system and having been considered a planet. Keep in mind, when a piece of the planet Meldick broke off, it became an orbiting planet near planet Saturn called Titan. Okay? And has been often mistaken as a moon by some scientists. The same applies with the piece of Earth that broke off and drifted away. Even today, contemporary scientists are unsure if the planet Pluto should be considered a moon or a planet. Now, you can find an excerpt from page 10 to 18 of my article entitled Extraterrestrial Government, available at King G. Now, these reptilians, you probably wonder why you don't see them. Why you don't see these reptilians? Well, maybe that was some of you guys saying in your mind, but little that some of you guys know that you actually have seen them, but you don't know that you have seen them. Okay? Ain't everybody aware of them like me and Dr. El-Bey. As he mentioned earlier, he had seen one a foot away from him. But the reason, first of all, these reptilians have to genetically inbred themselves with us. First of all. Therefore, all this abduction is taking place, and people becoming missing, we don't know where the freak they at. Just as, Dr. Phil Valentine mentioned on our show, on my radio show, Authentic Media, of Nationwide Alert, he said that there was 1 million Nubian men missing, and nobody know where they at. Now, we all know that, most Nubian people have the strongest genetics. You know what I mean? We had the strongest genetics, so we're the number one choice. That's why there's so much them of an attack on us. Because first of all, I mean, not only that the Albion or the Perlman want the minerals of Africa, but you got beings from other planets want the minerals of Africa. You know what I mean? Even our fathers from the planet Risk wanted some of them minerals. You know what I mean? That's why South Africa was one of the earliest places that was visited by the Anunnaki. And when you study the Anunnaki and reptilians and stuff in that nature, one of the earliest places mentioned is South Africa in regards to their presence and stuff in that nature. But the reason you haven't seen them because they're underground, because in their pure reptilian form, the sun will burn their ass. Now hold up, let's think for a little bit. Okay? Now, they say we say that the sun burned white folks. Okay, to be honest, to be real honest, I don't think every white person, get sunburned from the sun. All right? That's just my honest opinion. But I do know that many of them do. And that's what you got to ask yourself. The Europeans who getting their ass burnt by the sun, are they a seed of the reptilians? Are they a reptilian hybrid? That's what you got to ask yourself. Now, I have seen European people fucking nose peel like a damn snake. Actually, this European motherfucker who I seen this shit had was just a very evil motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Excuse my language. So, that's just something to take into consideration. I'm not saying they're reptilians. I'm not saying nothing about them. I'm just sharing some accounts. You can take it how you want it. Truth is truth. But they cannot come to the sun, point blank, bottom line. And the reason why they haven't emerged, into our society in full gear is because as long as we feed them while they're underground, they won't have no reason to come up. Because as we mentioned, and I was mentioned earlier in one of my articles, that these guys eat human flesh. They eat us. They need our organs in order to interact with us, to even infiltrate us. You know what I'm saying? They need our organs. Is that real? You know what I'm saying? And so that's just something you got to keep in mind. And I read in Behold a Pale Horse, pretty sure some of the colors on here have ran into that book by William Cooper. You know what I'm saying? A European dude who actually got murdered for the stuff that he was saying. You know what I mean? So they're murdering the Albion for speaking the truth. You know what I mean? He's saying something. You feel me? So they don't really like to pop their own kind, but they will. They start saying too much, just like they did Peter Tosh, and just like they did Phil Sneezer, if I'm saying his name right. A lot of Albions got popped, man, for coming out with this info. A lot of them got popped. So anyway, he mentioned in his book that in America there was 137 underground civilizations. And he talking about with transportation systems and everything, and some of them have more advanced technology than what you see above the earth. And you got to understand that the Draconian is the most technologically advanced. So, when you check them out, you know what I mean, you'll know that their technology is off the chart. And you got to read Dr. York's book called, I think it's Shambhala and Agatha. To keep it real with y'all, he's one of the best sources, man, to learn about all the extraterrestrials and stuff in that nature. I know you got David Icke out there and Alice Kohler and all these other people, but trust me, man, a lot of these motherfuckers be taking stuff from Dr. York, man. You know what I mean? And writing it in they shit. Because I study his work real diligently, and I know. And some of the Europeans even reference Dr. York's works. You know what I mean? But you got to be, you got to keep your eyes open. You'll see. You know what I'm saying? So that's one of the things. As a matter of fact, I even got proof that the Albion be be taking Dr. York's work. You got to check out Raw Authentic Media and check out my video called entitled Proof that the Pale Man mimicked Dr. York's work. And you know what I'm saying? You can see it for yourself. Now, there's historical events of these reptilians mentioned all throughout the world. Okay? One of them was Cecrops, the first. Okay, he was the king of Athens, which is in Greece. He was half man and half snake. Then you had the Dragon King of the Chinese culture, was sometimes depicted as reptilian humanoids. Then you had Shilong, a Chinese dragon thunder god with a human head and a dragon body. Then you had Zihak, as a Zoroastrian figure. Then you had Nuwa, a serpentine figure of China. Then you had the white snake, a figure in Chinese folklore. And then you had you had the white snake as well. All right. Now, I'm gonna share with you guys some excerpts from this book, man, called Culture in the Matrix. Very, very deep book. And I know the author was, a student of Dr. York, you know what I mean? 'Cause I just recognize him. A lot of people like to, take his work and highlight it, they ain't never studied under him and stuff like that. But, I keep it real. But anyways, page 6 of his work, all the way to about page 7, I'm about to quote, but let me get his author's name. He got a book entitled The Code to the Matrix, first edition, The Golden Rule. His name is James Evans Bomer III. Okay? 180-degree arch chariot, observer of the Sheriff's Prime Mobile. All right. And as a matter of fact, you can find that book in Comedic Library, Timbuktu, at KingGinc.com. That's KINGGEEINC.com. That's when they had that book in our library and hundreds of other books as well. Okay, so from page 6 to 7, I'm going to stay from this book. Okay, here we go. There are beings whom, in fact, are closer to us in proximity of creation and also endowed with reason. They possess a fiery and airy nature. They are known now as the serpents. Mankind history with the serpent is undeniable. For example, in Colombian mythology, Bacchus, the primordial woman, was called Serpentis, celestial snake, quote unquote. Mesoamerican culture worship Costaquito, the feathered serpent, and that awaits his return just as the chariots waited for Jesus. The Egyptian called them Neteru and said they came on heavenly boats and set up priesthood whose priests were called Tehuti. Sound familiar? The Sumerians claimed their ancestors were reptilian Anunnaki, who genetically modified them to be slaves. It is of value to keep in mind the Sumerians saying they were hybridized and made as slaves, while other legends simply say they intermingled with their population. The Ethiopian story, an ancient statue, can be found of the serpent known as Nagas. These Nagas also went into Persia and China. Nagasaki was named after the serpent who migrated there. In Japan, the dragon Yashua was a protector of Buddhism. The Celtics mentioned the Derus, aiders of great serpents, that came to instruct them in the mystic arts. The Hebrew speak of serpent Nakas, who was giving them trouble and misguiding their people. The Arabs produced thousands of codex writing of the serpent Shaitan and his cunning ways of making men and women fall short. It is safe to say that we can identify at least one non-humanoid being that in fact interface with our life cycle. And this is and this is only one, but there are many more. Thus, we should be able to establish that we're not alone. Then it goes on to say, reason 2, the Mayans clearly shown that they had already pledged allegiance to a group of masculine serpents. The serpent race are just as vast as our own. Many of the serpents are on a collective mind. Thus, they are genetically out to accomplish their own agenda and stop at nothing to see it through. Humans are looked at as resources to most of them. They are a supremacist warrior class. Also, some have mated with human races and tried to protect their hybrids as extended families. Many of the ancient reptilians despised this union, and thus a war had ensured among the elders and the siblings. Reason 3. In the Egyptian glyphs, they clearly show much larger humanoids inhabited the land. They are called Nephilim, bent on world domination and enslaving what they call inferior humans. They exist now in spirit form. This is beyond Alexander the Great and Constantine. In fact, this is where they drew their power and destiny from. Let me move on. This is beyond Alexander the Great and Constantine. In fact, this is where they drew their power and destiny from. Let's rewind that one more time. This is beyond Alexander the Great and Constantine. In fact, this is where they drew their power and destiny from. They were just as the human catalysts, hybrids themselves. Although their legends are so shrewd and myth, it does them little credit to the truth of their origins. Alexander was known as 2 great horns, and the Arab by the who or Alim who built the wall. Okay? That was Code to the Matrix, Golden Rule, available in my library, KingGinc.com, right, under membership. So, you got it right there. It's mentioned in that publication that Alexander the Great and Constantine, had got their, whole agenda from these reptilian beings. So, and we know that Alexander the Great and Constantine were the pioneers of European colonizing the planet and enslaving the original people of color. Okay? Now, with that being said, would you accredit the Pale Men for ruling this earth? With that being said, is the planet Earth ruled by reptilians? Okay, let's emphasize a little bit. Before the Europeans even started their so-called world domination, this place was already infiltrated by Draconians who had an agenda to not only dominate and rule this planet, but plenty of other planets and constellations as well. And they are elite members of the Luciferian order who hide under the banner of Illuminati, who control the strings of religion and politics. So, that being said, is the planet Earth ruled by reptilians? All right? So, this is bigger than the Pale Men. Everybody pointing fingers at the Pale Man, making him, appear more of a giant than what he actually is. This is much more bigger than him. You understand? Much more bigger than him. And the ones who actually had the power, you know what I mean? Shit, they're probably Reptilian-Hybrids. And if you do a little bit more investigation and study, you will see that many of the politicians are reptilians. Hey, don't take my word for it. Just go research it. Don't take my word, don't doubt my word. Go research it. You know what I mean? But, I mean, it's a possibility that Bill Clinton was one. It's a possibility that Barack Obama is another one. Possibility that Condoleezza Rice is one. See, all of them just isn't European. Some of them is Nubians as well. You know what I mean? But see, a lot of brothers in in this Kurdish community, they want to act like, you know what I'm saying, I mean, every goddamn melanated person out here is just, 100% righteous and shit, you know what I mean? And, can't have no possibility of beating the damn devil themselves. You know what I mean? You wonder why some of them, you know what I'm saying, work with the Europeans to destroy us. No, it's bigger than the European. They're not working with the Europeans to destroy us. They're working with goddamn reptilians to destroy us. You know what I mean? But, a lot of people ain't ready for that, though, because people found out that, the Holy Quran and the Holy Bible has some bullshit, and religion has some bullshit. So because of that, they just cast off spirituality, you know what I'm saying? They just cast off all the scripture. They just stopped seeking. Like, fuck it. And that's bullshit and everything bullshit. So they never took no time to study the clay tablets. You know what I'm saying? Or the Academies, you know what I mean? And other ancient scrolls that predate religion by far. So now what I'm going to do is get some accounts of some of these aliens that's amongst us. That's been amongst us for quite some time, the most popular one. This is going to be an excerpt from an article entitled, Are You Sleeping with Lucifer, page 22. Nordics, like regular, good-looking humans with fair complexions, blonde with blue eyes. Nordics, they're like Northern Europeans / Scandinavians. This type of UFO occupant is most intriguing since it suggests that the human form is not native to Earth, or that we may have common ancestors, or that they are time travelers. They are alleged contactees in the abductees. As an example, Travis Watson, quote unquote, who have reported seeing these aliens operating together with other alien types. British Air Marshal Sir Peter Horsley, quote unquote, 1921 through 2001, who once ran Britain's frontline defense at capital RAF command and was a Buckingham Palace aide for 6 years, in his autobiography entitled Sound from Another Room, quote unquote, 1997, talks about his conversation with a human-looking alien called Mr. Janess in 1954 in a London flat. This meeting was set up by a retired general who told him the alien wanted to warn us of the peril of a nuclear war. And I also got to talk more about the Nordics in my article entitled They're Among Us, page 67, was quote, Nordics are extraterrestrial species that look just like European people. I don't expect you to take my word for it, but I do challenge you to see for yourself before denying fact like a foolish person. These aliens called Nordics are also known as the Swedes. The name sounds similar to Swedish, maybe because they're related to Swedish people. They're approximately 5 to 7.5 feet tall and weighs about 120 to 240 pounds approximately. However, they have human-type eyes, blonde hair, and pale white skin. Nordic sex is a combination, male/female. Both of one sex, they are telepathic and also Palladian. The Nordics have blonde hair with mainly blue eyes. However, some are described as having violet, pink, red, purple, and green eyes. They're taller and more built than most humans. The planet of the Nordics is dry and hot with a low atmosphere of oxygen. These creatures have 28 teeth, and their heart is located near their liver area. Then on page 8, it goes on to speak about the Artrians. in my article entitled There Amongst Us, which quotes, Archeans are said to be very religious. They don't look too different from humans, and their civilization is similar to the one we have here on Earth. On the other hand, their civilization is much more peaceful than ours, maybe because their planet isn't dominated by evil reptilians like here on Earth. Technology on their planet is much more advanced than what we have on Earth today. The Altrians is said to be in alliance with the Nordics, and both of these species are supposedly warning humanity about the disaster that will take place here if we don't clean up our act. I'm not the one to judge, but I don't think the Nordics have our best interests in mind. Neither do the Altrians, and they are in alliance with the Nordics. All right, and then I talked about the BOBBLE extraterrestrial group in my article entitled There Amongst Us, page 21 for the states. The BOBBLE extraterrestrials are also known as Bobbians, Argotians, or Argotians, okay, are from a planet that orbits around the Proxima Centauri. They are able to live for centuries. Their hair is blonde, and they look like Caucasians. A small section of their planet is metropolitan. However, the remaining is predominantly rural. To be considered a full member of this society, the youth are expected to make genetic contributions regardless of gender. And then afterwards, they're sterilized. Bobbians doesn't have a special preference in regard to sex. They foresee that a great catalysm will take place on Earth within a comparatively short time. Compared to human beings, Bobbians live a very long life. Then in my article entitled Are You Sleeping with Lucifer, page 23, talks about the giants, which states, giants, quote-unquote, tall, 2 meters up to 2.5 meters or 8 feet tall and slender, with some difference. Bigger eyes, fine hair, covering their body, and sometimes face. Okay? And I recently came across a similar description from a CE3 with enlist men in 2002 in Greece. Apparently, this type of hairy being are sometimes classified as Bigfoot. Although Bigfoot, man, Yankee, etc., are probably not UFO related. Now, these beings called the giants that, is being mentioned as Bigfoot in the public was mentioned in Dr. York's book many years ago as the Shaggy. You know what I mean? So he knew about this way before, it came to their attention. So in the book entitled Are You Sleeping with Lucifer, page 24, states, short, non-gray, childlike, diminutive human of exceedingly slight build, 0.9 to 1.2 meters, which is 3 to 4 feet tall, fair complexion, pale white skin, proportionally large, bald head, quote-unquote, no hair, eyebrows, eyelashes, larger eyes, described as protruding, bulging, often reported dark with large brown irises, and with very little of the white part of their eyes showing. Very small nose, tiny lipless mouth, face with high forehead, wide and eye levels that thins abruptly at chin. Okay? Now, the most honorable Elijah Muhammad talks about the mothership, the mother plane, also known as the Crystal City, and there are other esoteric and symbolic meanings of the Crystal City as well. But let's reason for a minute. Okay, this mother, after Elijah had passed away from us, Dr. York had mentioned that the mothership was Nibiru, and that Nibiru is in actuality a spaceship, but is mistaken as a planet. And it's about the size of planet Earth. Now, what's funny is that a lot of things that he mentioned on the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, you know, and by 2000, he already expected y'all to know what the game was. It's already taking place like crazy throughout the scientific world, you know, and it just goes on to talk to see how asleep people is, you know what I mean? Because, you know, obviously the guy being slandered, you know what I mean? And if you want to believe the bullshit on what he was slandered for, or why he was discredited for, you know what I mean? Just tell me your level of intelligence and how heck you knowing how this enemy works. But anyway, a lot of stuff he said is being revealed through contemporary scientists, which made me think two things. Either they studied his work and, you know, claim that they discovered this, or classified as being update information, or, you know, he just prophesied a lot of things that came true, but he never claimed to be a prophet. You know what I mean? But if you were to study, if you were to pay attention to what's happening astronomically in the world today, and if you were to pay attention to what is not only at the surface of your feet, but what's above you, you would know that all types of events happening, taking place right now, especially when the Nibiru. In these times, they got to start paying attention to what's happening in the star. A lot of unusual things are happening in the stars. A lot of things. It's mentioned, but it's not mentioned, you know what I'm saying, on CNN and shit like that, but it's mentioned. If you get deep into the scientific community, you know what I'm saying, stuff in that nature. But Ezekiel chapter 1, verse 16 talks about Nibiru. And it gives an appearance of Nibiru, which states, the appearance of the will in their work was like unto the color of beryl, and their four had one likeness, and their appearance in their work was as if it were a will in the middle of a will. Now, it's a will in the middle of a will. Okay? Now, according to the master teachers, that this place in the Nibiru was able to store other ships. That's why it was called the mother ship, because out of that ship were many other ships. Okay? So when you read Ezekiel talk about a will within the will, it is talking about the mother ship. It's talking about Ezekiel seen the mother ship with other ships coming out of it. Okay? And I'm pretty sure, you know, it's very, very clear in historical accounts that, you know, they got hold of this goddamn book they call the Bible and did some twists and turns and shit, you know what I mean? To make it difficult for you to really understand its true meaning. Okay, now Ezekiel is real good, man. Ezekiel is real good for describing, you know, extraterrestrial events. All right, Ezekiel 40, verse 2 to 3 states, and the vision of God brought he me into the land of Israel, and he set me upon a very high mountain, by which was the frame of a city on the south. And he brought me to Tether, and behold, there was a man whose appearance was like the appearance of brass, and with a fine flex in his hand, and measuring reed, and he stood in the gate. Okay? And then Ezekiel have another account in that same chapter, in verse 5, and behold, on the wall on the outside of the house round about, and in the main hand a measuring reed of 6 cubits, along with the cubits in a hand breadth. So he measured the breadth of the building 1 reed, and the height 1 reed. And you can find accounts other mothership, not only in Ezekiel, but Revelation as well. We have to look at Book of Revelation, chapter 21, verse 10, which states, "And he carried me away in the spirit in a great and high mountain, and showed me that great city, the holy New Jerusalem, descending out of the heavens from sky." Now you got to know, originally, that word heaven is Oranos. And Oranos mean Orion. Okay? So, I don't want to break down the whole Hebrew translation because I only got about, 22 minutes here. All right, but, the holy great city, the New Jerusalem, is the civilization, that within its mothership. And I believe portions of this is shown all through Africa as a floating city. You know what I mean? Showing giving the signs of the New Jerusalem. The events that is getting ready to take place. And then you got Revelation 21, verse 15 to 17, which states, "And he that talked with me had a golden reed and measured the sky and the gate thereof, and the walls thereof, and the city like 4 square. And the length is as large as the breadth. And he measured the city with the reed, 12,000 furlongs. The length and the breadth and the height of it are equal. And he measured the wall thereof, and 144 cubits, according to the measurement of man, that is, of the angel." Now that's a mathematical description, of the Nibiru. And mathematics, is the language within itself. So in order to really get what that is conveying, you have to, start doing your mathematical computations and stuff in that nature. So basically, put all of this in a nutshell. I would advise people, to keep on seeking the truth in regards of who the Creator really is. Who the Creator actually is. And don't be discouraged with all of the falsehood and false doctrination to describe, the Creator and the Most High. Because I told you, I've been on this mission, since I was a child, a teenager, young teenager. And there was a time where, I became an atheist, and then I became an agnostic, because I was going under a lot of confusion because when I found out that religion was bullshit, and I found out that the Bible and the Holy Quran was tampered with, and filled with falsehood, I just said, fuck everything, and I just stopped believing in everything. And then an agnostic is somebody who's not sure there's a God or nothing. Don't believe in any religion, but not sure. You know what I'm saying? So I was kind of battling between those two things. But see, the thing about me and many others is that when I was an atheist and when I was an agnostic, I was never ashamed, to say. I would tell a preacher, I would tell an imam, I would tell anybody, that I didn't believe it. And I know today a lot of people actually don't believe in no higher force. They don't believe that there's no God. You know what I mean? They don't believe that at all. But they don't admit it. They like to mislead people that they actually do believe in something that they actually don't believe. And I wouldn't doubt that some of you guys on this call don't believe. You understand? But as, start studying a little bit more and start investigating a little bit further, when I start investigating outside of religion, and I start, studying scriptures, outside, of the Bible and the Holy Quran. And I started getting more indulged into spirituality and started to become more of a spiritual being, more of a spiritual person. then my eyes opened up to the true meanings, you know what I'm saying, what was being conveyed in the Bible and the Holy Quran, and now I was able to decipher, you know what I'm saying, what was incorrect. And a lot of it, you know what I'm saying, isn't too much with being incorrect, you know what I'm saying. It's more about it being a symbolic language, and if you take it in its literal language, it will be incorrect. But now you got to understand that it's all symbolic. And symbology is parables. You know what I mean? But I started looking, I'm like, okay, so I know the English Bible is ain't tampered with. I don't know where the hell the Hebrew Bible was, but then I came to discover that there were texts that predated that, which was in Sumerian civilization. So I started looking for it. I started looking in the Holy Tablets. Then I started looking in, you know what I'm saying, the books that wasn't published in the Bible, and started looking at the Catholic Bible, the books that they had in that Bible that wasn't, you know what I'm saying, connecting to any Bible. I just started really searching. I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to no longer be in this borderline between atheist and agnostic. I'm going to figure out, you know what I'm saying, what life is really about, while I'm really here, the true higher force. And through that research came the development of the decipherment of Genesis, you know what I'm saying, which is available on my website, KINGGEEINC.com. You know, through our extensive research and stuff in that nature, came, you know what I'm saying, with my conclusion and stuff in that nature. And realized, yes, there is a higher force. Yes, there is a devil. But if I tell you that they are extraterrestrials, I will, you know what I'm saying, many people won't be able to, you know what I'm saying, accept that. It'll be too heavy for a lot of people. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I basically laid down what I have to lay down. If there are any questions, you know what I'm saying, I'll go ahead and take them on at this moment.
How you doing, brother?
How you doing?
Yo, this is right, 19, brother. Man. This is Shamash Nasir L. Yeah, they call me 19, man. I'm a Lim's understudy for over 25 years, man. I've been listening to you, man. You did a great job. Very proud of you. I listened to the whole thing. Matter of fact, Alim was Brother Alim El-Bey was here when he started your podcast, and I want to tell you, man, that when you were talking about being an atheist and an agnostic, you are actually right, because when you go back to the Quran and you go back to the Bible, you are no longer in the willing or the knowing or the believe aspect that Goma, Oz, and the Bar exist. Okay? And so you're absolutely true about, anything that you're atheist about is that it's not about God. You're not saying that you're not about a higher power. You're saying that you're not believing in the God concept. And it's a duality in that. The duality is that there is a higher power, and everything that you express is absolutely correct to the T. You did an excellent job. But the thing about it is, when a person says they're atheist, that means that they are not of what the God concept is. Because, you know, like you spoke earlier, the God concept is a brainwashing technique. You understand what I'm saying? It's a total brainwashing technique. And everything that we have been exposed to, I was the same way that you were. I was raised as a Christian. I was raised as an AME Zion Christian. And for the last 25 years, I haven't belied anything. Because I know that the spell of King U is what Christians are inside of. And they are some of the hardest people in order to try to break. Because they'll tell you all day long, well, God said this, God said that, and they'll quote you scripture. Some of them haven't even read the Bible. Like, give an example. I was talking to a young lady last week, and, you know, didn't really get anything heavy. I asked her 3 questions. And the 3 questions I asked her was about one verse, and it was called the Book of Genesis. And it was where it said, man was created in the image to become like he, them, one of us. And I asked her, I said, who is them? Who is he and them? Who is us? And by like of what? And they couldn't explain it to me. They couldn't explain it to me at all. And I said, exactly. I said, have you read any part? I said, have you read your full Bible from cover to cover? They told me no. I said, well, how in the world can you sit here and expound to me on anything beyond what this book narrow-mindedly puts to you in certain verses in certain time periods when you are reading it like it's coming to you as everything is happening in sequence, which is not. You know, and then on top of it, I asked her this. If there was an Old Testament and it worked, why did you need a New Testament? But it was all part of control. You spoke of Constantine. You spoke of Alexander the Great. You're absolutely correct. They were genetic hybrids. They were a speeding up of the process of where this planet is right now. That's why we have so many things that are going on. That's why you have so much ignorance when it comes to race. You have so much ignorance when it comes to what the Confederate flag really means. Like, a lot of people really don't know what the Confederate flag really means. You know, these pale people out here that are painted on their bodies and saying that they're all about the South, they don't really know that the Confederate flag represents the 13 tribes of Canaan. He had 13 sons. He was an albino. He was not a pale person. He was pale by lack of melanin in his skin, but he was a Nubian. And he was banished out of the realm of his family, and so he felt like that he needed to go out here and explore, and so he explored and had sex with multiple people and had 13 kids. But they don't even realize that this alien race they're talking about is not even truly pale or white or Caucasian. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. You know, and a lot of people don't realize that. That's why when I see these cats riding around now with these flags hanging behind their big-ass trucks, I laugh at them. They're ignorant. You know what I'm saying? And see, ignorant does not mean that you are stupid. It means that you're ignoring the facts. The sad thing about it is they don't even know what the facts are. They can't even conceive it. This world has been so diluted, so ingested with falsehoods on so many levels till people can't get their minds in order to conceive and study. And then on top of it, we got to look at how we're socialized. You know, we have to work. We have to get up in the morning, we have to go all day, then we have to come home, we have to take care of our kids, we have to do all this stuff. When do you have time to study? You know, if you don't make the sacrifice to do it, and I did it for years. Like, I broke down, like some of the stuff you've been talking about, I broke down for years. Me and Dr. El-Bey, we have stayed. Matter of fact, you know, like I said, he came down to hang out with me this afternoon, and we reminisced about how we first met and like where I was in my life. And you know, he gave me my name, my first name, or you know, my nickname at 19. It was when I was born. Reason why is because I assimilate information so fast. And one thing about me is I don't forget nothing. But I say to folks, and I will back you up totally, that everything you have said tonight has been right and exact. It's been very clear. You did an excellent job. I commend you. Please keep your head up and continue to study and do what you're doing. You're telling people the right thing. The reptilians are real. They are here. They have always been here. They were here before we were. And they will continue to be here. And their agenda is very real. And I just want to tell you, I'm very proud of you. Brother El-Bey said he'll speak to you hopefully later on. But you did a great job, brother. Proud of you.
All right, I want that, sir. Thank you, brother. Appreciate it.
No doubt.
So, anybody else in the audience have any questions or comments? You know, go ahead and bring them forth. Is Dr. El-Bey still with us?
I don't know, because he was on the highway. He was leaving, and I don't know if his phone was going to pick up, you know. But I made sure that you stayed logged on my computer and everything because I wanted you to complete what you were doing. And I enjoyed it, man. I really did.
Right, so is anybody on the board right now? Do you have control of the board?
I don't know because I what I did is I kind of minimized it, so I don't know if there's anybody on the board or not. I'm actually outside of my house.
Okay.
But you did an excellent job, man. You know, you were phenomenal. How old are you?
All right, so basically,
how old are you, brother?
I'm sorry. I hear somebody breaking up.
No, it's me. I said, how old are you?
Oh man, I don't want to get into that right now, especially not on the air, man. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Well, I'll do this for you. I'm gonna give you my number because write it down for all of you.
All right.
I'll give you my number. You ready?
All right. I'm gonna grab a pen right now and go ahead and grab a paper. And I didn't really catch everything you were saying, brother, because it kind of sounded like you're breaking up a little bit.
I'm on my ear. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you a little bit. Oh, yeah, I can hear you. Definitely better.
Number is 910.
910, okay.
461.
910, what?
461.
Okay, 461, okay.
8002.
8002. So 910-461-8002.
Yep.
And you're 19, right?
Everybody call me 19, man.
All right. I'm going to confirm this one more time. 910-461-8002.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. So I'm just going to go ahead and make an introduction, and then, once I finish, I guess we could just end this. But
okay.
Yeah. So everybody online, I'd like for you guys to go ahead and check out King G Incorporated, which is my corporation. You can find us online at KINGGEEINC. That's King and G with the double E, not no single E. That's with the double E, GEE, and then Inc. as an INC, Incorporated.com. And I got a couple of books coming out. One of them is entitled Divine Mathematics, subtitle The Sacredness of Mathematics, Volume 1. That should be released next month on the 1st. And right after that, I'm coming out with another publication in the following month, which is entitled Metaphysics of the Esoteric, subtitle on Building the Secret Codes of Esoteric Teachings. That's coming out on October the 1st. And be on the lookout for another book that I'm working on entitled Battle of the Sexes, subtitled The Systematic Agenda to Destroy Nubian People. So if you just go to King G Inc., you guys can go ahead and follow up and keep up on what I have there. And as for sale right now, I got my two books that I published. One is titled on the Elementary and Elemental Elements, subtitled The Elements of Life. You can get that right now for $9.99. Then I got the Decipherment of Genesis. That's available on my website as well for $4.99. And also make sure you check out my store. We got Jamaican black castor oil, macadamia nut oil, black seed oil, avocado oil. We have body oils, kufi caps, movies, children movies. And check out some of our services. Also provide web development, web consultants, illustration and graphic designing. And we have two extensive libraries. One is the Comedic Library Timbuktu, which is very diverse, mainly in our story, Nubian Moor story, you know what I mean? And we also have the Library of Sacred Scrolls, and that's more, I want to say religion. I mean, you could say religion, but more esoteric spirituality, esoteric, you know what I'm saying, the occult, you know, dealing with higher knowledge, you know, and but the library is available with membership, which is $11.99 every month, and you get access to both of them libraries. You can download as many books as possible, and also available is my presentations that I have, such as the Secrets of the Mathematical Language, Part 1, Part 2, Architectural Mathematics and Geometry, which is a 3-part series, the net-to-rule sequence of gapology. You know, we go into the Reptilian sequence and sacred geometry, you know, and Bantu, Congo-Bantu cosmology, stuff of that nature. I also have a presentation in there called El-Bey, which talks more about the Sumerian and civilization, the Anunnakis of Nu and Lil and Iki. And I have gods and goddesses of the 21st century available in my presentation, which talk about Nubian inventors. Then I got mathematics as our culture, which is also available. And got a couple more presentations, one called Al-Gad-Ra, which gives you a spiritual and divine perspective of algebra and the father of geography. You know, I'll go ahead and break down that whole site and that whole mythology about many Nubian scientists and mathematicians, you know, being Greek, but supposedly being Greek, but actually Nubian. And I got tons of articles available, you know, under my membership. And I got tons of episodes, you know what I'm saying, available. And you can also find my contacts on my Facebook and my YouTube. And King G Incorporated. King G Incorporated, which is KingGinc.com. But with that being said, appreciate everybody for calling in. Appreciate you too, Brother 19, you know what I'm saying, for the warm words that you shared with us. And I hope everybody have a moon break, which is a good evening. Hotep, family.
Same to you, brother.